Hey guys, welcome to or back to my booktube channel. In today's video, we are going to be going over the 10 books I read in the month of March. So I'm not going to go over the synopsis like too much about any of these, just like a few things I know about it, how I felt about it, and the rating. So the first book I read in the month of March was Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. This is the second book in the Finlay Donovan series. I believe it's marketed as a cozy mystery, like cozy murder mystery, and I thought it was a lot of fun. This series is definitely not going to be for everyone, and if you didn't love the first one, like I wouldn't say you should continue because they're all pretty similar. I read 3 of them so close to one another where I don't really know exactly what this one was about, but I did give it a 4 stars and I remember thinking it was really fun. So then next up we have my favorite book that I read in March, and that is Binding 13. I did not even own this. It wasn't a part of my physical TBR, but I saw that it was on Kindle Unlimited and I didn't know that. So I picked it up and I became obsessed. And I feel like everyone is picking this up right now and loving it, so I'm happy to be a part of that group. I wanted to be reading this book like at all times. It was just so captivating, and I don't even know why, because it was a bit predictable, so it's not like I wanted to pick it up to see what was gonna happen. But like, it just gave me all the good feelings. Like, I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but like when you were a kid and you watched like a high school movie and you were like, oh my gosh, like looking up to them, can't wait to be in high school, whatever. That's kind of how this book made me feel, even though I have graduated college. It just made me have those like giddy feelings and I loved it. I do have a reading vlog including this book if you want to hear more of my thoughts. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that was a 5 stars. And then we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder next, and I gave this 4 stars. I listened to this as an audiobook and I really did enjoy that. But maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I read it physically, just because I didn't care that much at the beginning. Like, I don't think I cared about where the plot was going until like 50% in. And then I did think the ending was satisfying. I did like how that all wrapped up, but I would have liked for there to be more setup for the next book, considering this is a trilogy. Okay, and then I read another Finlay Donovan book. This is Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun. Once again, I don't really remember what happened in this. Besides, actually, I didn't love the setting of this book. Yeah, this was still fun and entertaining, but I felt like things needed to wrap up more. Like, I think I'm ready for the series to come to an end. And she did just release the 4th book, so I need to read that, but I gave this 3.75 stars. Then I continued my Throne of Glass journey and I picked up The Assassin's Blade. I know a lot of people read this first, but I read it 3rd. And I'm not here to tell you about the reading order because I don't have any strong opinions on that. But this was really fun because there was short stories, and so that made my reading experience better. And at first I really didn't want to read it because it was a prequel, but then I really did start to enjoy it. And it brought out a lot of emotion in me. So this was 4.25 for me. Alright, and then we have The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. This was my first adult romance from her, and I wasn't crazy about it like I am for the young adults, but I did go in with lower expectations and kind of just knowing that. Like, it was just gonna be a palate cleanser for me, and it delivered in that aspect. I read it in one day. These two have a wager going on about who can find love first, and then they eventually get into fake dating, and that was really fun. And overall, it was just a fun time. Nothing too deep or anything like that. But yeah, 4 stars. Next up, we have Spiritbound. This is the 5th book in the Vampire Academy series. And I felt like the 3rd and 4th book kind of dragged. So this was a nice change of pace. But I still did miss like the vibes of the first books when they're like really set in the academy. I don't know. It's like watching a TV show and like you watch them get older and sometimes you miss when they first started school and everything. That's kind of how I felt, but I still enjoyed the pacing and I gave this a 4.25. I really liked how the setup for the next book. Then I actually did a reread. I think this is my 2nd reread of the year, and that is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I got this UK cover to match my others, and those 2 were annotated and this one wasn't, so here you can see all my tabs. I basically only read it to annotate and I had so much fun. Like, I really went crazy with the tabs, and like rereading it was so much fun. I still gave this a 4 stars. And then these last 2 books are from my latest video where I was finishing series I was in the middle of. So we have Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. And I talked a lot about this in the last video, so I'm not gonna say much. But I gave this 3 stars. I did not love it. I'm really glad it's over, to be honest with you. And then I finished the Vampire Academy series and read The Last Sacrifice. This is book 6, and I was so sad to say goodbye to these characters, but I felt like this was a really good conclusion. I gave this a 4.25 stars. I could definitely see myself rereading these in the future. It was just so much fun. But yes, those were the 10 books I read in the month of March. I have a April reset video coming out soon, so stay tuned for that because that's going to have my April TBR. I'm not gonna do like its own separate video, but I'm really glad that I finished some series. I got a reread in of a book I really enjoy. And then I found Binding 13, which is a new favorite. So really happy about all that. Please let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were. I would love to chat more about them. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day reading a good book, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.